If you have been working hard on your book marketing and your sales still feel inconsistent, the problem may not be that you need more visibility. It may be that you are building your author business from the wrong end. Most authors start with the part that they can see. So they'll start with social media, ads, promos, newsletter swaps, retailer links, launch pushes, and whatever tactic seems to be working for someone else this week. And I understand why. When sales feels slow, visibility feels like the obvious answer. More people need to see the book. More readers need to know you exist. More traffic needs to go somewhere. That sounds logical. But here is where the problem starts. If you send more readers into a weak pathway, you do not create stable sales. You create more leakage. So today, I want to talk about why authors are building their businesses backward and what needs to be in place before more visibility actually helps. This is not about doing less, it's about building in the right order. Because when the order is wrong, everything feels harder than it needs to be. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. An author decides they need more readers, so they start posting more often on Facebook or Instagram. They share quotes, teasers, writing updates, cover reveals, maybe even a few reels. Some of the posts do really well, people like them, someone comments, "This sounds amazing." The author feels really hopeful, but sales do not really move. So the author thinks, maybe I'm not posting enough. Now they increase the effort. So there's more content, more time, and more energy goes into creating these things. But the actual problem was never the number of posts. The problem was that when a reader became interested, there was no clear next step. No obvious starting book, no simple reader pathway, no reason to join the author's email list, no store experience, no follow-up. So the attention happened, but it did not go anywhere useful. That is what I mean by building backwards. The author was trying to increase visibility before the destination was ready. Here's another example. An author runs ads to book one. They spend the money, they get clicks, they might even get some sales. But read through is weak. Book two does not move much, the email list does not grow, the reader relationship doesn't deepen, so the author assumes the ads are not working. But sometimes the ad is doing the job. It's bringing people in. The problem is what happens after they arrive. The blurb may not clearly show the emotional promise. The back matter may not guide readers to the next book. The author website may be confusing. The reader may not know whether to join the email list, buy the next book, look at the series page, follow up on social media, or go back to Amazon and browse for something else. That's not an ad problem. That's what we would call a pathway problem. And when the pathway is weak, visibility feels disappointing. Not because visibility is useless, visibility does matter, but visibility works best when it has somewhere strong to land. So this is the shift that I want authors to make. Do not start with the tactic. Start with the pathway. So before you ask, how do I get more readers? Ask, what happens when the reader finds me? That one question will change everything in your business. Because a healthy author business does not begin with a random tactic. It begins with a clear reader journey. A reader discovers you. They understand what kind of books you write. They know where to start. They have a reason to stay connected. They are guided to the next book. And over time, the relationship between author and reader builds. That is the structure. That is what makes visibility useful. Without that, you can have more traffic, more clicks, more posts, more promos, and still nothing feels like anything is really building. This is why I keep saying authors do not need to do more marketing. They need a better destination for the marketing they are already doing. Let's make this very practical. Building backwards looks like this. You join a promo before you know what you want those readers to do after they click. You boost a Facebook post before your profile clearly tells new readers where to start. You send newsletter traffic to a retailer page before you have captured the reader relationship. You run ads before the product page has been checked for conversion. You post every day on social media before your email list has a clear invitation. And you chase visibility before your back matter is guiding readers to the next step. Now, none of those tactics are bad. Promos can work, ads can work, social media can work, retailers can work, but when they sit on top of a weak foundation, they do not compound. They flare. They make noise, they give you hope for a moment, and then everything settles back down and you feel like you are starting from scratch. That's the exhausting part. The tactic may have worked for a day or a week, but the business did not capture the momentum. So what should authors build first? There are 5 pieces I would look at before pouring more energy into your visibility. The first piece is a clear starting point. If a new reader finds you today, where should they begin? Now that sounds simple, but many authors cannot answer it clearly. They have a website with 10 books, 3 series, a pre-order, a reader magnet, a newsletter sign-up, and 5 retailer buttons. The reader lands there and has to figure it out. Most readers will not do that. They're busy, they're distracted. They want the next step to be obvious. So create one. This might simply be a page or a section that says, start here if you're new, or begin with book 1 in this series, or take the quiz and find your first read. The point is not to make it fancy. The point is to reduce the mental work for the reader. The next piece is an email invitation that actually makes sense. Not just join my newsletter. That's not enough anymore. Readers do not wake up thinking, I would love to join another newsletter today. They need a reason. And that reason might be a free first in series book. It could be a bonus epilogue. It might be a missing scene. It could be a guide to your story world. It might be early access for upcoming releases. Whatever it is, it needs to match the reader journey. So if someone has just finished book 1, a bonus scene from that world makes more sense than a vague newsletter sign-up. If someone is new to your books, a free entry point might be stronger. If someone is already a fan, early access might work beautifully. The third piece is a store or sales destination you control. This is where the direct sales conversation comes in. If you are doing the work to bring readers in, you want at least part of that traffic going somewhere that helps you build a long-term asset. That might be your own store. You could be sending people to a landing page. It might be a direct sales bundle. It does not have to be complicated, but it should give you more control than simply sending every reader straight to a retailer. Because retailers are useful, but they are not designed to build your business for you. They are designed to sell products inside their own ecosystem. Your store or your own pathway is where you guide the reader intentionally. The fourth piece is back matter that continues the journey. This is one of the simplest places authors lose sales. A reader finishes a book, they're emotionally engaged in the story, they are still inside the story world. That is the best moment to guide them. And what do many authors do? They say, thanks for reading, or give a factual list of books the author has written. I mean, that's lovely, but it's not a pathway. Your back matter should make the next step obvious. So your call to actions could be things like read book 2 here, get the bonus scene here, join the reader list here and get the first chapters of the soon-to-be released book 2. Visit the store for bundles. You do not need to give 10 options, though. In fact, fewer options are usually better. The reader should never finish your book and wonder what to do next. The fifth piece is a simple follow-up system. When someone joins your list, what happens? Do they receive one email and then nothing? Do they get a welcome sequence that introduces your world? Do they know what to read next? Do they learn what kind of author you are? Do they feel invited into something? Or is your email boring and factual? This does not need to be complicated once again. Even 3 thoughtful emails can make a difference. Email 1 can deliver the promised book or bonus. Email 2 can introduce your story world and suggest the best starting point, using sales psychology and emotive language so that the reader feels the experience your book offers. Email 3 can guide them to the next book, bundle, or store offer. That is how attention becomes relationship. That is how a relationship becomes repeat sales. Let's look at 2 authors. Author 1 writes cozy mystery. She has 6 books out. She posts on Facebook regularly and joins a few group promos each month. She sends readers to Amazon for book 1. Some buy, some don't, some read, some continue. She does not really know what happens next. Her website has all 6 books listed, but there is no clear Start Here page. Her newsletter sign-up says, "Join my mailing list for updates." Her back matter has a general thank you note and a link to her website and a list of all her books. She's visible, but the journey is loose. Now let's look at author 2. Also writes in cozy mystery, has 6 books, has a simple Start Here page. It says, "New to my books, begin with Murder at Maple Lane." She offers a bonus short stories for readers who join her email list. Her back matter points readers to book 2 and the bonus story. Her store offers book 1 to 3 as a starter bundle. Her welcome emails introduce the village, the main characters, and the reading order. Now, if both authors get the same visibility, author 2 has the advantage. Not because she is working harder, but because the path is clearer. The reader knows where to go. The author keeps the relationship building. The books have a better chance of compounding, and that is what most authors are missing. Authors are assuming the solution is more attention, when often the solution is a better pathway for the attention they already have and using emotional pulls to draw readers into their world. Here's another example. An author writes science fiction romance. She has a large interconnected world, but readers are confused about where to begin. She keeps posting about different books in different series. Readers enjoy the posts, but they are not sure what the entry point is. So instead of posting more, she creates a simple reading pathway. If you love Alien Warriors, start here. If you love found family and adventure, start here. If you want the full universe experience, start here. Then she uses that pathway in her bio, her website, her email footer, and her social posts. Suddenly the marketing becomes easier because the message is clearer. She is not just saying, "Buy my books," she is saying, "Here is the right door for you." That's a completely different reader experience. There's a very real difference between chasing visibility and building a reader pathway. Chasing visibility feels urgent. You are always looking for the next thing that might bring readers in. Could be a new platform, a new promo, a new ad angle, a new tactic someone mentioned in a group. Building a pathway feels calmer. You still do marketing, you still create visibility, you still promote your books, but now the marketing has somewhere to go. A reader clicks and the next step is very clear. They join your list, they buy from your store, they continue the series, they hear from you again. They are no longer a random click. They are part of your business, and that's the difference. Visibility alone gives you movement, but a pathway actually gives you the momentum that you're looking for. And momentum is what most authors are actually wanting. They do not want to feel like they are launching themselves from zero every month. They want to feel like the work they did last month still matters this month. That only happens when the structure underneath the marketing is strong enough to hold the attention you create. This is usually the point where authors either keep doing what they have been doing, trying to get more readers while the pathway underneath stays unclear, or they pause and build the destination properly. You can keep pouring energy into visibility and hoping more readers will fix the problem, or you can build a reader pathway that makes your visibility more valuable. One keeps you busy, the other gives your business somewhere to grow. If you're sitting there thinking, I can see where my business is leaking and I want help mapping this properly for my books, then the next step is simple. Join your Signature Get My Book Out There marketing system using the links below. Inside, we look at your books, your genre, your current setup, and the pathway your readers need to move through. So you're not guessing, you're actually building something that fits your business. The goal is not to stop marketing. The goal is to make your marketing worth more. Because when you have a clear reader pathway with emotional links throughout, every post, every promotion, every email, every ad, and every collaboration has a stronger chance of doing its job. Your visibility stops floating around, your reader has somewhere useful to go, and your business finally starts to build from the right end. You do not need more random traffic. You need a destination that works, and that's where the shifts begin.